Hello, it is the Femme FanTale readathon. It's actually halfway through the Femme FanTale readathon and I've read nothing so far. Back to work. This is my place of work. You may recognise it from vlogs from months ago because that was the last time I was at work. I'm back at work now. I normally only do 1 day a week in the building, in the office, and the drop-in, but two of my colleagues are on holiday this week, so I've worked the past 2 days as well as today. So I had big plans. I thought because I was going to be in work so much more than usual, I wouldn't have time to read like multiple physical books, so I was going to save a physical book to read in the latter half of the week, and I was going to read an audiobook for these first few days and listen to them on my walk home from work, and then yesterday I had to walk partly into work. Those plans were sort of thrown out the window when my dad then like offered to just drive and pick me up because he works sort of nearby and I normally walk like to his work, which takes about 20 minutes, and then he drives us the rest of the way home. Sorry if you can hear noise, there's a road right there. But he just like picked me up from work yesterday, and because it's awful weather today and he needs to get something from nearby my work, he's gonna pick me up again tonight, or this afternoon, not tonight. So I'm relying on just now. I'm in the office this morning on my own. No one else is in work today, like at all. It's just me until the afternoon when a couple of volunteers are coming in for the drop-in session. So I have about 4 hours in the office by myself. So I think I'm going to put on an audiobook and listen to it on like 1.5 times speed and see if I can get through like a good chunk, and then maybe try and finish the rest tonight, just like lounging around, or maybe possibly a little bit tomorrow. And then I think I'll have the weekend and Friday at least to physically read a book. So the book I physically want to read is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, because I've heard so many good things about it and I bought it recently and I think I'm most excited for it now. So I'm going to read that. Obviously it's written by a woman. That's the whole point of this readathon, to read fancy books written by women. And it also fits the like bingo board prompt of Asia because it's Asian inspired, based on like Chinese history. So that's my physical book I want to read. For my audiobook, I want to read Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. I picked it because it was the only female written fantasy on my library app that I was at all interested in for audiobook, and it fits the prompt of African inspired. I read Children of Blood and Bone, the first book in the series, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I quite enjoyed it. I enjoyed the magic system, and I quite liked Zaylee and Amari as characters, but I did not like the romances in it, like at all. I think Zaylee and Amari had way more chemistry on page than any of the other like male characters, so I really wasn't a fan of the romance, so I couldn't like rate it super highly because I just hated that part of it. And I didn't particularly have any intention of picking up the second one, but I thought because it's recently come on audiobook for my library, I'm gonna give it a go. and I hope I enjoy it more than the first one. The first one wasn't bad, just wasn't, like, I feel like it was really hyped up and then it didn't live up to the hype. So yeah, that's my plan. So also yesterday, because it's been so long since I read the first one, I had to go on the Recaptain's website, where they have like synopses for books in series that just like recap everything that happened in previous books. So I did have to go on there, look up Children of Blood and Bone and remind myself what happened fully, because I remembered aspects. I remembered how it ended mostly, but I had to fully remind myself, and there were things that I had forgotten happened, so I'm glad I did remind myself. I just realised in a clip I've already filmed, I spoiled something from Children of Virtue and Vengeance, so I'm gonna put this clip before that and warn you that there are spoilers in this vlog. I'll probably spoil more of it, and also potentially spoil the Poppy War, so yeah, this is a spoilery vlog. So I've been listening to the audiobook of Children of Virtue and Vengeance pretty consistently, like almost non-stop, for about just under 3 hours now, because I'm listening at a slightly faster speed. I'm about 4 hours through the audiobook, and I think I need a break because I'm starting to lose focus and like sort of tune in and out, and then I sort of lose my place. There was one point that I, obviously because I'm also doing work, concentrating on my work, that I completely missed that we'd just like changed perspectives of characters. So we were in Zaylee's perspective, and then I sort of tuned out, and when we came back we were in Inan's perspective, and I was very confused. So I had to go back a bit and work out where I was. So yeah, I think I'm gonna take a break from audiobook and just listen to like a podcast or some music instead. And then I might listen to some more later today. I've got like an hour until the afternoon drop-in session starts, so then obviously I won't be able to listen at all because I will be working with other people running a drop-in session. So yeah, that's my plan. I think I'm done with the audiobook for this morning, but I might have a bit of a listen maybe when I get home after work this evening. We'll see. Yeah, and I don't think I'll finish it tonight by any means, because I've still got like 9 hours left of it. I thought it was a little bit shorter than it is, but it's about 13 hours long, 13 and several minutes long. But I hope to have it finished by the end of tomorrow, so then Friday, Saturday, Sunday I can just focus on physically reading the Poppy War. But it's okay so far. I don't know if I've actually physically read these books, if I might get into them a bit more. I like the audiobook narrator. I think she's good at distinguishing voices, for the most part. I've heard her do other audiobooks as well, so I do think she's good. But I don't know if, maybe because it's fantasy with like a magic system, that maybe if I physically read it, I'd be a bit more into it. Yeah, but I'm fairly enjoying it so far. So there we are.
So it's now Saturday. I completely lost track of what day it was. It's Saturday. I'm over halfway through Children of Virtue and Vengeance. But I didn't read as much as I would have liked the past 2 days. I just wasn't really feeling it. I'm struggling because I don't like Inan like at all. So his chapters, I just don't really care. And then Zaylee's really annoying me in this book. Yeah, I like Amari. Her chapters are my favourite. And I quite like Zaina's character, more so than I did in book 1. Not that he was like particularly annoying, but I like him more in this one, although he's not in it a lot. Amari is definitely my favourite.
Hello, it's Sunday, so it's the final day of the Femme FanTale readathon. This morning I finished listening to Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi, so it took me like a whole week to read this on audiobook when I really hoped I'd be done by like Wednesday. In my initial plan, that did not work out. But yeah, I've not been feeling it really. I gave it 3 stars because I didn't hate it. But you know how I was saying that Amari was like my favourite character? She makes some choices in the latter half of the book that I like books where people make really sort of amoral choices, or good people do bad things, bad people do good things, people make mistakes or questionable decisions, or betray people but always like still come back to their friends and family. I really like political difficult decisions to be made kind of plots, but they have to make sense, and I don't feel like the choices that Amari made were like a natural progression of her character. I don't think that she would have made the choices that she did and like done the thing that she did in such a short time. Maybe if like this kind of thing happened in the next book and there was more, like we saw more inner turmoil, there was more of a I don't know where we go from here kind of plot built up, but it seemed like within a chapter she just decided to make this awful decision, and I didn't believe it, so that was my problem with it. And the ending, like whilst I gave the first book 3 stars, the ending was very I was very drawn into the ending, whereas this one I didn't feel that way. I'm really not feeling great. I felt quite ill all day with a bad cold, so I think I might take a nap, just sleep for a while, and then I'm gonna start The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. Obviously I'm not going to finish this today, but I thought I might as well start it whilst it's still the Femme FanTale readathon. Plus I really want to read it anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna take a nap and then get started on this. I'm very excited because I've not really read a grim, dark fantasy before, and I've heard nothing but good things about this. But obviously it's very heavy, based on a lot of Chinese history that was not a good time in history, and that it's very violent and quite difficult to read, but I'm very excited to get to it. So sleep first, then read this. So it is the end of the Femme FanTale readathon. I honestly debated even putting this vlog up because it's so uneventful, and I did not do the amount of reading I wanted to, but I didn't want to waste the clips either, so I'm doing it. So I started off the readathon kind of on Wednesday, because that was the first time I actually started reading, and I started off with Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi, which is the sequel to Children of Blood and Bone, which I read last year before, I think it was the year before last. And that book is all about a girl called Zeli and her brother Zane, and then another set of siblings, Amari and Inan, who are royal. And Zeli is from a village which has previously, all the people who had magic were killed, I believe, in a sort of war with like the royals and the people that come from that city, and so Zeli really doesn't like the royals, but then she and Amari end up coming across each other and needing to help each other, and so they go on this quest to bring magic back, and then at the end of that book they achieve that with lots of other stuff going on in between, and pretty consequences that result in a lot of death, and that's where book one ends off, and book two is picking up with people gaining magic, discovering their magic, learning about magic, which is very interesting. I like the magic system in these books. I think it's probably the most interesting thing about them. I think, like I've said in previous clips, I wasn't sold on the ending. It didn't grip me like the previous book had, and I think some of the choices the characters made, certain characters, certain choices, I thought weren't, I didn't believe that those characters would make those choices. I think this is just a trilogy. If it is just a trilogy, I will definitely read the final book. If it's a long-running series, I don't know that I would invest my time in it. The thing with audiobooks is I can read an audiobook way quicker than I physically read a book, but I don't know if reading these on audiobook is part of the reason I'm not connecting with them as much. But then I don't know, because I've listened to other books on audio and really loved them. So I don't know if it is just the story that is leaving these as 3-star reads for me, or if it's the audiobook. Because I like the audiobook narrator, so I can't work out what it is, if it's just a me thing. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I gave this one 3 stars as well. I thought the beginning, middle was stronger than the end. Yeah, that's... I finished it on Sunday morning, and then I started the Poppy War in the afternoon, and I got 42 pages. So super successful. I wanted to like fully read both of these, and I spent an entire latter half of the week reading one of them, and the beginning half of the week not reading anything, and then reading 42 pages of this. This hasn't super gripped me so far, but I am interested, and I wouldn't expect it to completely grip me at 42 pages, but I am very interested to see where this goes, because Rin, the main character, has just got to the academy that she has studied to be in, and she is already struggling because everyone in the academy and just the general city sees her as very different. My camera cut off because I had no storage, so I deleted some stuff, and now I do have storage, but let's do this quick. So as I was saying, I'm intrigued by this. I'm interested in where it's going. I think Rin is going to be a really complex character. I'm rooting for her at the moment, but I do know that people say it gets very questionable, grey morality kind of comes into play with pretty much all the characters, so I'm very interested in getting further into this, which I will do today. So overall, a kind of disappointing readathon, entirely my own fault. Work got in the way a bit in the early days of this week, because I had to work some shifts that I don't normally work, and then my mood got in the way. I just wasn't in the mood to read all the time when I thought I would be. I've been in a bit of a reading slump lately, and I kind of hoped this would get me out of it, but that wasn't to be. So we'll see. Either way, I really love just the concept of this readathon, reading fantasy books written by women. I think it's a lot of fun. Love getting suggestions from other people, just books on my radar now. So I'm highly anticipating the next time this is done. I have a bunch of female fantasy on my TBR and on my wish list, so can't wait for the next round. That is all from me for now. I will see you in the next video. Bye!